Hey guys,
All right.
we are going to be talking about slope, the slope or steepness
Or tilt.
of a line.
There you go.
So by the end of this video, you are going to determine the slope of a line given a table, given a graph, or given 2 points.
You got it.
Okay, let's hop on this bad boy. Okay, so here we are, finding slope using a table or a graph.
We've talked about this before. It's change in y over change in x.
Mhm.
So that's the triangle, the delta symbol. Change in y over change in x.
Okay, so change in y over change in x can also be interpreted as rise over run. Okay, so you're going to see how much it goes up and down
Uh-huh.
and how much it goes side to side
Got it.
between 2 points on a graph. So or between two things that you know. So it says find the slope of this treadmill.
Okay.
So I'm going to do
So I'd write
rise, rise over run.
So she's writing rise over run instead of change in y over change in x. That's the same thing.
Same.
Same thing.
Okay, so how much does this treadmill rise?
Okay. Well, I see it goes 48 long y, so that would be running. So it rises 10.
Is it going up 10 or down 10?
The treadmill's going up 10 because you can't go below the ground.
Right.
So it'd be positive
This
10.
is a positive 10
Mm-hmm.
over, and then how much does it run? Running is the change in x,
Yep.
which if this was on a graph, this would be my x value. So
Right.
it's going to be 48. So my rise over run, or my slope, is 10 over 48.
Yep.
You can simplify,
Mm-hmm. But not to a decimal.
but not to a decimal.
Right.
So I would divide both of these by 2,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to get 5 over 24.
Nice job.
Is my final slope of the
Nice
treadmill.
job.
Here we don't have a picture,
Okay.
but we're still doing the same thing. Change in y over change in x,
Okay.
and that is rise over run.
Good. A hiking trail rises 6 feet. So it just told me. It rises 6 feet. So it's a positive 6 for every horizontal, the horizon horizontal, change of 100 feet. What is the slope of the hiking trail?
Well, rise was 6.
Mm-hmm.
Horizontal change is change in x, 100.
Yeah.
And then
And both of these are even numbers, so I know it can go down by at least 2. Okay.
6 divided by 2 is 3. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So my slope is 3 over 50.
Leave it as 3 over 50.
That's it. You just leave it as a fraction.
Got it.
Okay. The graph shows the cost of muffins at a bake sale. Find the slope of the line.
Perfect.
It tells you what to do right here. This is the fancy words of
Rise over
rise
run.
over run.
Mhm.
So we should see on your paper where you wrote rise over run.
Correct.
So Whit, how much does this rise?
Well, it just says to pick any 2 points. It showed us 0.24.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up 2, boop, boop,
Oh, do you want me to do the boop boops?
sure,
Okay, so it goes
1, 2. So it went up 2, so I would write 2. It's a positive. Then I went over 1.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, it says 4 to 6.
but it's 3 to 2. That's 4 to 6 up and down. Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yep, so you've got to
Got it.
pay attention to if it's rising, how many
Gotcha.
boxes. Now, the other thing you have to pay attention to is the scale.
Right.
This scale, so it went up 2 lines. In this case, my scale was also counting by 1, so we can just count by
Right.
ones. So my slope is 2 over 1,
Mm-hmm.
or just 2.
Yep.
Now, interpreting the slope.
Okay.
Because this is a real world problem,
Mhm.
or word problem,
Mm-hmm.
I have to now talk about what that slope means.
Okay. So my rise was for cost, it says. So I'm looking at my
Y-axis
Thank you.
label.
label, looking at my label. So I have cost over the muffins purchased.
So I'm going to have cost and then muffins.
Mm-hmm.
So altogether, this would be
$2 per muffin.
per muffin.
It's a pretty good deal.
Yummy. Okay.
Mhm.
And then here's another thing here. If you have a line going up, it's positive. If it's going down, it's negative.
Yep.
And if you're going left, if you're going right, it's positive. If you're going left, it's negative.
Yep.
Okay.
Like the rules of the road.
Okay.
Write that down.
Okay. Okay. This table, so now we're looking at a table. So here's how you find slope
Yeah.
on a table. Again, change in y over change in x.
And we've done this.
We've done this.
Yeah.
So that says, that's not what I want. So This is rate of change.
Okay.
Slope and rate of change is the same darn thing.
Same thing.
So I'm
So
going
is
to,
rise over run, all the same. So start with a change in y. So I'm going from 12 down to 9.
so that's -3.
Minus 3.
Let's make sure that we,
9 to 6, minus 3, 6 to 3, minus 3.
okay, so my rise or my change in y is -3.
So I'm rising
Down,
down
3.
3.
Okay, and then my
My
run,
time, I'm going from 1 to 3, so 1, 2, 3, so it's plus 2.
Mhm.
Plus 2 again, and 5 to 7 is also plus 2. So my run is 2.
Now, so this is my final answer, right?
Mhm.
Should I change it to a mixed number?
No, 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 no.
Nope. It's awesome. Guys, slope is great because you leave it as an improper fraction.
Yes, we love that.
Okay, now, can
Relate
we,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
interpret.
So it says pages left. So if I'm reading a book, that means that I have that many, flipping that many pages.
Okay, so I read
3 pages every 2 minutes.
or 1.5 every 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
And either way.
We're not going there.
Yeah, this is fine.
Okay.
So now we're gonna try. So they've already given you the rise and the run. So you're
Mhm.
gonna do rise over run. And here you're gonna do the same thing, or change in y over change in x.
You got it.
Go ahead and pause now, and we'll come back with the answers in a second.
Perfect.
There they are.
So when we
Okay.
look at the graph,
Mhm.
we see that we start at that left dot, the bottom dot, because we read left to right, so that's exactly how you read a graph.
Mhm.
So you start at the left point and you go up and over to the next point.
Mhm.
So we had to rise 3 spots. So you see those 3 humps. So we have 3, then we ran 4. So our slope is 3 over 4.
Mhm.
We
Same.
leave it as 3 over 4.
Don't write 0.75, you
Nope.
just leave it. So now we have this. We did our change in y first, so it goes up 1 every time.
Correct?
And then we did change in x second. Put that on the denominator, it was 4.
Done.
Done. Leave it as 1/4.
And there's nothing to interpret here.
Yeah, because doesn't tell me anything else, so we don't have
Right.
to interpret it. Okay, slope formula. Again, this is when you are given 2 points.
Yep.
So the first example has a graph and 2 points. The next example is the graph is going to go away.
So it's just
It's
2
just
points.
going to be 2 points.
Okay.
So let's
So you need to highlight the formula for slope. Formula for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now that is not y squared. What it's saying is it's y2, so the second
This-
y value.
So let's look at example 4.
Okay.
This is x, y, and this is x, y.
So the first x that I see reading this left to right is 1. That's the first x value that I see.
So I'm not going to do that one first.
Right. The second one that I see is -4.
Mhm.
So I would have -4. Oh, sorry, y2. I was going to label it up there in the green.
Oh, you were going to
So like do x1, y1,
okay.
and then x2, y2. That's where I was going with
I
that.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that's great. Okay. So now we just take these and put them in the right
Correct.
place. So I
So
know
what
that
is in the y2 spot?
y2 is 3
Mm-hmm.
minus 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then my x's.
Over
This guy,
-4,
-4 minus
1.
1. So my final answer is going to be 1 over, let's see, -4 minus 1 is -5.
Uh-huh.
This pops up to the denominator, the whole fraction becomes
The
negative,
numerator.
or the numerator, sorry, -1/5. Now, that's shown in the graph, it's going down 1
Uh-huh.
and over 5.
There you go.
Remember, this graph is going to go away in a minute, and you're going to only have points.
Yep. So I would probably rewrite the equation because I like to rewrite that again and again and again to make sure I know what it is. So it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
So we're following this.
Yep. So we start with our second y value.
Okay, so I'm going to start with b.
Start with b.
The y value is 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm
Because
going to go.
alphabetically, y comes after x.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, because x, y, if you forget which one,
Oh,
the
right,
side
right,
is
right.
x.
Yeah, so x, y.
Yeah.
And then this is x and this is y. So 3 minus 2
Mm-hmm.
over 5
Minus the
minus
other two.
the other 2. So my slope here is going to be 1 over 3.
Done.
Good. Okay, let's look at this one.
Lots of
Y2.
negatives. It's okay though.
So the second y value is right here.
-2
So -2 minus
minus
the second, or the first y value is -4.
-4.
Then I'm going to do this guy, -3 minus
-7.
-7.
Now, hopefully we have some red flags going on because we can't have minus and negative.
No.
So instead of minus and negative, we change that to plus
Plus
a positive.
plus positive.
So now it's -2 plus 4 over -3 plus 7.
So -2 plus 4 is 2. -3 plus 7 is 4. But this
They're
can
both
be,
even, so we know they can reduce.
I know that what number goes into all even numbers is 2. So divide both
Now
by
I
2.
start there.
And we're going to have 1/2. And that's my slope.
Done.
Okay. So here's your guided practice. I've highlighted where you can go back. So find the slope of the shed's roof. Go back to example 1 if you don't know what to do, and watch example 1 again. Same thing here, example 2 and 3, and then the last one is example 4.
So be sure to fill this out because it's really going to help you tomorrow.
We will see you.
On the flip side.
Bye-bye.